And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Artcasters. My name is Kevin. You're here at my channel. Like, subscribe, hit the hype button, smash the bell. What else do we have to do? Hit all the buttons. Just hit all the buttons.
Yeah, hit them.
Yeah.
It's hand conditioning, guys. Like a kung fu flick. You just keep, you know, you get hardened knuckles.
I feel dirty doing that intro. Let's stop this and go live one more time. Hi, my name's Kevin. Welcome to the Artcasters. Go to kevincross.net. You can find all my links to all my stuff. And Joshua Kimball.
Hello.
What's going on?
How's it going, guys? Yeah, if you haven't yet, pre-order Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. It is a historical fiction comic that's deeply researched, strikingly illustrated in the Victorian style, and it's 230 pages about the iconic Sonnet 43. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. But has lots of fun stuff like seances and magicians, and you'll like it. So pre-order it in hardcover, preferably would be what I would recommend. So,
Yeah.
And then other than that, you can get Jacob's Apartment or Two Stories, my other two graphic novels, at bookstores everywhere. In fact, we were at a Barnes & Noble down in Glendale, and they had Jacob's Apartment, and I was so stoked. And I was reminded, like, oh yeah, that book's actually at Barnes & Nobles all over the country. So, yeah, check out those books. All right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Mr. Scott Circling.
Yeah,
What you got going on?
I'm the guy with the squeaking dogs in the background. I don't
It's
know if you can
okay.
hear that.
We'll trade off.
Yeah, Josh's dogs are making wet sounds, and yours are making squeaky sounds.
Yeah. All right. So, Scott Circling. You can find my stuff at circworks.com. And by stuff, I mean my comic book, Young and the Dead. Kids versus Zombie Adventure Story. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. If you're into Goonies, Stranger Things, Monster Squad. It's kind of like that, but with zombies. Definitely check that out. And there's other stuff there too, as well, over at the website. And I have two YouTube channels. I have Circworks Art Labs, where every week I put out a new video giving art advice and inspiration on how to make comics, kind of specifically indie comics. And then I kind of preview some of the sketches and things that I'm working on for my new comic book, Hip Optimus Rhyme. I also have Retro Art Lab, which is me taking vintage ephemera and collectibles from the Gen X era and kind of figuring out how they work, rebuilding them, and putting my own unique spin on it. So you can find that one at Retro Art Lab. So that's what I got.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. And now that you've met us, have a good night.
We got a comment that we started on time. I think Kevin's pretty prompt, so it's since it's on Kevin's channel, he kind of cracked the whip and got us started on time. So
sort of, maybe 1 minute it looks like this time. 1 minute late this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the topic of the day is something that I thought I've been thinking about for at least a year and a half about making, and it's one of these things where, you know, the world keeps changing, and I'm not as interested in making a really hardcore edited video about this topic by myself. And I thought, let's talk amongst friends about the evil of the world. No, so what we're going to talk about is AI today. If you saw the thumbnail and stuff, it's the artists versus artificial intelligence. So, and I thought, like, you know, what at this point hasn't been said, is it being said right now on YouTube? There's probably, you know, 10 or 20 videos every second about it. And so what maybe we can do, maybe talk personally at first. Like, I'm curious if you use AI if you have a beneficial, maybe ethical use as an artist for it, and have you been kicked in the nuts by AI? That's where I'm going with that. See, that's anyone want to take a stab? I will, because I'll be short. How about that?
Okay.
I before things got really bad a couple years ago, you probably heard me talk about losing a business. It was a sign shop. There's a few reasons, but one of them that I saw coming in there towards the end that seemed to be kind of one of the modern horsemen of the apocalypse for me anyway, was that part of our services in designing signs, putting together signs, it was cedar wood signs, hand painted. Everything was hand done. We put together the signs. We didn't use CNC. We sandblasted. We hand painted all kinds of stuff. We had to cut these stencil tapes for the sandblasting, and to do that you had to have vector art. And if someone gave you a JPEG or something like that, something not vector, I would have to go in and redo it vector. And that wasn't uncommon. When the sign shop was going well, people would say, hey, I've got this, I've got this image, this picture of somebody that like if it was a sign that wasn't for a business, it was in front of someone's house, maybe they wanted a portrait, or something. And didn't have to completely vector that because we're hand painting and stuff. We could paint those, but we'd have to vector the shape and stuff. But then I started noticing people were just giving, and this is when started showing up when the Will Smith eating spaghetti stuff was like really, really weird and grotesque. He looked like a monster. And so people were sending these AI, we want this. And I, on the sign, I'd be like, well, first of all, 2 words are misspelled. Second of all, I have to redo it because I should back up a little bit, because they would also be like, well, I already got the design. So do we get a discount? I'm like, no, I still got to put it together. Cause basically we would tell people that, design was part of everything, but it was really baked into the price because, there's only 2 of us running the shop. And so we had to get paid for our work and stuff, right? So, but still I'd be like, no, this is bad. I can redo this and it'll look much better. It'll be done by a human. And at the time, it was mostly, you hear like the boomers really love AI. It was mostly like the older crowd, but I started seeing it more and more, and I was like, oh God, well, thank goodness I have a shop, and thank goodness I was starting to do some like just for funsies, little freelance jobs here and there. I did a comic book cover for Friends Comic for Image and a couple other things, and lo and behold, shop went out of business. And so I was like, well, I'm going to call my my old contacts from when I was a freelance illustrator before and designer before I took over as one of the owners of the sign shop. And so I called some of my contacts. The art directors were gone. Some art directors I was really friendly with, because if you do art for a living, you know that art directors will move studios or different places sometimes, different publishers, that kind of thing. One of my go-tos when I just needed something, and was pretty well paying for me was storyboards. Mostly I did TV commercial work, and a lot of video game cutscenes and stuff. But I was told a bunch of times, nope, that's AI now. That's AI now. That's AI now. And then I got in contact with some of the old art directors that I, have remained friendly with. And one, I'm getting canned because of AI, and two others don't even work in the art field anymore. They got canned because of AI. One is doing something woodwork ish, because, you know, we talked a lot about that because that's what our sign shop is all about. And I can't remember what the other person's doing, but so no work. And now, you know, as I try to do what I used to do for a living back, I'm just hearing AI this, AI that, and I even gotten one real firm apology and one kind of like I think they wanted to say sorry, but I think someone was in the room. You know, it was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't like it. No one likes it. The art room got cut in half here because of it, and the quality is terrible, and the sales are not good for us anymore. But the boss wants it. The boss keeps saying, no, this is the way. This is the way. And they're just losing. And it feels like I try to keep up and watch stuff on AI on YouTube to a point, because I can't when I start getting too depressed and hopeless about the world. But it just seems like nobody wants it except for rich people who are pushing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's made it to where I haven't had. It hasn't taken me this long to recover from financial ruin, and I'm not finding a way out because all the avenues that used to work for me are being blocked by AI.
Yep.
So that's I'm pretty against it, even to the point where there's some YouTube channels that I have watched for a while, and they're more story based. And when I see them they're starting to use AI animation and stuff, and I'm like, God, you're a good storyteller, but fuck you. Sorry. Did we hit the? Oh yeah, I think we can cuss after 10 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't watch their channels anymore, which is fine because it frees up more time. I don't watch much anyway. You know, I'd rather be making, but still, you know, it seems like it's everywhere. And then even when I watch channels about, you know, data center in the news, these people are getting moved out, eminent domain, because of a data center that's not making any money, and it's ruining health, mental health, physical health, environmental health.
Yeah, I think every query is like a gallon of water.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
And you know, and the funny thing, this is just an aside because I want to get back to maybe focusing more on AI and art, but you know, I don't think we can avoid what's happening just in the general populace about it, but or bringing that up anyway. But it's and now I lost my train of thought, and now I have a name for that. ADHD. I used to think I was having a senior moment. I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, you were gonna digress
about the water,
about the water or something related to the impact.
I was just as an
AI.
aside. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, have you noticed that climate change disappeared?
Yeah. Now it's not a concern all of a sudden.
No, it's not a concern.
Since somebody can profit off of.
Anyway, who wants to?
Well, I'm fired up, but I don't know if Scott wants to hop in first, or what are you good if I hop in, Scott?
Yeah, you can go. You can go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so a couple things. Like, one is I, up until going into the education program to get my credential, had never touched AI. I absolutely despise it. And one of the concerns I had early on, that some artists didn't, and I think maybe they were foolish not to, was that I've worked as an art director for people with no taste. And
I don't know anything about that.
And a lot of your work as an illustrator is going to be for people who just want a hand to do whatever it is they want. and don't really care about like the quality or the kerning or the typeface or anything like that. They just want their bad idea.
Quantity. Get it out now.
Yeah. And that's a good chunk of the work, unfortunately, especially entry-level work for illustrators. And so the fact that there is now a tool that can just generate these bad ideas kind of poorly, but to the point where it's passable to muggles. Like, if you're not a wizard, you're going to look at this stuff and be like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Has always been concerning to me. So I'm not a fan. I think I do think there's a couple things that are good about AI. One is that we've been foolish, I think, as artists to forget the purpose of art beyond commerce. And I do think that has cost us the relationship with why we make art. And I think that I shouldn't say us. I should say it did for me for a little bit. Like, commerce really interrupted my view of art because it was my living. And when it became my living, I disconnected from a lot of the original reason I was making art in the first place. The one positive of the scenario we're in is artists who are real artists are going to have to remember why they're doing art, because it can't just be for the dollar at this point, because AI is going to take a lot of that slop, like a lot of that the just kind of bread and butter stuff is going to be gone, and is being impacted, and different industries are being impacted. There's still a lot of traditional work out there. Like, I have a lot of friends who are still in it, but I do think I don't envy like students going out into the work field, competing with AI for a fast food job and for like higher tier jobs like art. It's just it's a frightening time. But when I went into the education program, the problem I'm seeing is that it's not just it's being pushed by these wealthy owners who've invested a lot, so it kind of has to make a return. But it's also being pushed by the education system to educators to like, hey, you should teach AI, and you should teach using how to use the AI. And there's like a split on whether that teaching should just end with ethical use or whether it should just be like, yeah, let's just fully embrace it, which I think is horrifying. But there are useful ethical ways of using AI, and I think of them as more of like, in my opinion, which is kind of using it almost like Microsoft Word, where you're not having Microsoft Word write for you, but when you need a spell check, you can spell check, and sometimes it can help you format. And I think that those areas are where like AI could be really useful. So the way I use AI as a teacher, partially from the education program, is I'll have a lesson plan. I'll have the different state standards that I want to meet within the lesson plan, and I just kind of roughly write that out. And I will say, from this information, generate a lesson plan in this format, and it will spit back a lesson plan that fits all those points somewhat with all that criteria in that format that I asked for. But I do have to double check it because it has a tendency to lie, which a lot of people don't know, which is also frightening. Because AI will, if you don't check, like even as a teacher, they'll be like, it fits this California state standard here. And it's like, it's not actually a standard. It'll do that just to fulfill your prompt. So I do think there are some ethical uses that are potentially in there for things like that, for formatting. What I think of is like when I was in graduate school, when I had to write a thesis, you had to do it in a specific format that's only used for like 3 types of paper in the world. And back in the day, you used to have to pay somebody like $3,000 or something to look through your thesis and make sure it fit that format. I feel like that's a more ethical kind of use of it. Is like, hey, I need this to fit APA whatever format. Help me format it. What I'm concerned about is I don't think it ends there, or for most students. And I think what it's going to train people to do is have a machine do the creative things. And I think that's going to cost us in ways we can't even calculate.
Man. Well, there's all these warnings now and like some studies being done. And of course, it's a little too new to get anything probably definitive. But, they're calling it like AI psychosis and stuff where people are just like, what should I do now? What should I watch on TV? I might be, be being overly general with it. But, it's like people aren't deciding what to do with their lives anymore or something is what I'm getting from it.
And if you think about it, like psychosis is where you start seeing things that aren't there or thinking untrue things.
Right. Which is like the AI girlfriends or boyfriends.
So imagine experiencing subtle psychosis, which most people will at some point in their life, but then feeding that to AI, which is just going to yes and everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I think I'm a god or something, and you start, it's like, well, you could be a god, and here's like it will feed you delusions because it's a machine that's supposed to satisfy you. It's not. Yeah, it's not like obligated to tell you the truth.
Right. Yeah, I've watched some of the, which I want to do, later on in this episode here is I've got my phone over here, and I want us to ask AI some questions and see what it comes up with, which we know it's going to blow air up our butts. Like you're the greatest. Yeah. You're the greatest, which is still one of the psychosis that I have. And yet my life's not working out. And I'm like, what the, no. Real quick before we get to Scott, I just realized I did use AI. I used it a couple times. Once, because I could not for the life of me find the name of this guitar player on this specific record, and it gave me 10 wrong answers. I was like, nope, that's the guy from Iron Maiden. That's the guy from Metallica. That's the guy from Black Flag. Nope, that's the and then I can't remember if it was before then or after it, but it was around the same time. Some of my videos I'll use phrases from film noir movies and old radio shows and stuff if I do like a more noir type voiceover. Well, I was feeling like I was kind of, I don't know. Just one day I was like hitting a wall with coming up with all these noir type analogies. And I have a document that I haven't had time to refresh in a while, but I would just sit there and I would listen to noir movies or radio shows, and I'd be like, that's a good phrase, and I'd write it down. Or type it out, I should say, and put it on this list. And so I thought, and it could be me doing the prompt wrong or whatever. But I gave some of those examples. I said what it's from, and I said, can you find the scripts from these and find things that mean these various things, or noir sounding phrases that are common, or slang from the 40s and 50s that are common in noir movies. And everything was the darkness this or the shadow of this. It was like and I asked for 100. I was like, no, give me like Wet Ghost and Whale in a Teacup, and I don't want the bleak dark night. I'm like, yeah, we all get it, it's noir. I'm like, give me the fun stuff. But so I was like, this is what it is, I don't like it. And then and then real quick here, sorry Scott.
No, keep going. We still got time.
Yeah, I know. But Paul has some interesting things to say here. Paul Pate here in the chat. By the way, thank you everybody who's participating in the chat. Love you guys. He has a question. He says, or he asks, he inquires. I use Google to find background images that I pretty much trace. I've a couple things to say about that. Now I have AI create an image that I pretty much trace. Do you think this is still evil? All right, to unpack that, I think as artists, I used to have filing cabinets of reference books, magazines, stuff like that, and and then eventually, the internet becomes more prominent, and then SketchUp becomes a thing. I used to build like cityscapes and or not, I shouldn't say cityscapes, but neighborhoods or buildings or interiors or whatever, and I would just
cars.
I would leave them on blocks, but I would do them like how you could set it up. Well, the room here would be 10 feet tall. There's one character that's 6, so I do like a block that's like about 6 feet tall, stuff like that. But then I would go and draw it, but I would trace over the I would turn that all to blue line, and I'd trace over the blocks. But I'd round the corners, I'd put character on things, stuff like that. But I was also have my and there was at one point that I felt like, God, I'm not using my rulers and putting dots across the room so I can do this like, the avenues and going down in a major city or something like that. And I was like, no, I built this, and I'm drawing on blocks. I just have them for reference, and I've saved myself half a day because I'm not, mapping everything out with rulers and because when you're doing comics like I was at the time, I was working on 11 by 17 inch kind of standard at that time. Not kind of wish I was working on the bigger pages like the old timers, but I wasn't. But I was like finding myself like, my dots are like all over here because of a certain shot I wanted, and I could do that in SketchUp pretty quick. And then if I wanted to rotate or say it's a location that shows up a lot, I just save that file. So finding images on Google and tracing them, I kind of do have a problem with. I think you have to modify them. Now, I don't like AI. I think it could be used well as a tool. I think it could do my dishes and cure cancer. That would be great. But at the same time, you say you have AI create an image. If you're coming up with the prompt and stuff like that, you've got a hand in it. So I don't like it, but I'm going to probably say that maybe that gets a pass for me. I've got a really good friend who uses the heck out of it for all for preliminary stuff, and he just tells me, he's like, no, it's great. It saved me like 2 days this week, dude. It's a tool. Just use it. So I guess that was the biggest thing. Paul also says that his daughter just flat out refused to use AI when one of her teachers was pushing it on everyone. And my daughter and her friends, I know I talked to Paul. I think Paul's kid is about the same age, maybe a year, give or take. I can't remember. My kid's 14, and her friends are just like, nope.
Yeah, my son hates it.
I love that.
And pretty much like I teach art at a high school, and I don't think I've had one student who was like a fan of AI. So, and I teach about 230 kids a year, so that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
a pretty good sample size to see how they're feeling. However, of those kids, how many of them would use AI to like cheat their essay? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we had Cliff Notes, and if I was not interested in something, I used the heck out of Cliff Notes back in the old days.
And this is not even Cliff's Notes. Like, this literally will you could say,
yeah,
I need to write a paper. You could put the assignment in.
Yeah, at least we had
and it'll do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, God, that brought up another thing. Went into my head and popped right back out. So maybe we'll show up again.
Cliff's Notes?
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say something else. Is now that's semantics that I don't even want to go down. I'll tell you what it was, but I was going to say, well, somebody who loves AI could say, that we're using our influences. Like right now, I've got a project I'm working on that I'm gonna do. One of my projects that was spawned from the big animated film, and I'm gonna do a series and finish this project start to finish. But I've got this drawing down here, and it looks, you can tell that I like Bernie Wrightson and Jack Davis. And it looks closer than I thought it would to be wearing its influence on its sleeve. But I still drew it, so I scraped I stole their magic a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe that's too semantic. Maybe that's playing devil's advocate. It's kind of a weak argument, really. And
no, I kind of understand. Like, I think the pro advocates are going to usually make the argument technology's always adapting. At first everybody freaked out about using photography to do art.
Oh, I hate that. It's the devil's eyeball.
Yeah, and
no,
then
I'm just kidding.
then photography got accepted and utilized in like most art, including fine art. And then after that, everybody freaked out about digital photography, and then
Right.
everybody adopted to digital photography, and then they freaked out about digital artwork, and then everybody adapted to digital artwork. And this is just a new adaptation, and we're just old and kind of resistant to these tools.
I'm not against like progress.
That's the argument, right?
Right.
I'm
not against progress.
I'm
not against technology. And I want to get to Scott. I feel like going down a road, but
yeah.
I just feel like, if you look at like the data centers 2 years ago, if you look at a map, like all the dots of data centers 2 years ago versus now, and supposedly it's not making any money, it's ruining everybody's lives, except for, a very small group of people who are on the Jeffrey files. And, so with all the pushback, I am hoping that they finally realize. I don't think they will, because I know they don't care about us, but
yeah,
but I do have kind of a hope they'll be like, this isn't making us any money. This was a giant mistake. Let's actually have it do laundry and cure cancer. Let's actually make Star Trek happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scott, how do you, if you use AI, how do you use it in an ethical, nice what all of a sudden I'm turning into a nice way, a very good way,
a beautiful way,
yeah,
the best use.
That somehow I turned into Smithers at the same time.
Smithers.
Does AI give you the horn? So anyway, how do you use it? If you use it,
all right.
Thoughts? Has it been detrimental to you at all? Any of that stuff?
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I have used it. Now as far as ethical, I can't, because of, like you said, the energy usage and stuff. I can't rationalize that, and I can't really defend that. But my thing is here. My line is never to use it for anything creative. I use it for production tasks, anything that's going to give me more time to be creative. And so that could be, I'll like dictate something, and then I'll say, please cut out all the ahs and ums and ahs, all that stuff, and just make it more concise. So, I mean, and that type of thing saves me time. I'll use it for, I mentioned, I do these trading cards. So on the back, there's little descriptions on the back. I generate the descriptions with the AI, because what I would do if I didn't use AI is I would probably go and find a paragraph or whatever with that description, and I'd figure out how to, how you go back in the old days, you figure out how to rewrite that so you're not plagiarizing. You're basically saying the same thing, but you're changing words. So it's saving me time, and it's allowing me to make more cards and stuff. But I'm never going to use it to design. I'm never going to use it for illustration. I'm not going to use it for anything like that. And for me, the way I kind of rationalize it is it allows me to stay productive. Having said all that, if AI was to go away tomorrow and no one could use it, I'd be fine with that, because then everyone's on level playing ground. But I don't want to fall behind, but I also don't want to use it like as a crutch creatively. Now, having said all that, like if I do use it to generate something like this, it's totally I mean, there's been so many times where it just gives bad information, and I would never rely on it for something that I don't already know.
Yeah.
Like I've done things like in research for things for the retro videos and stuff. I'm like, nah, and it'll come back with some toy that never existed. I'm like, nah, that's not true. That's not a thing. And and then basically you tell it, no, that this is the correct thing. And it says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I lied to you." No, it never tells it. Never says it lies, but yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But,
I
so
saw
I'm
something.
I use it kind of. I don't want to say as a necessity, because you can. I mean, obviously, a lot of people get by fine without using it. But I mean, like I said, I don't want to fall so far behind, but I don't want it to. I don't want to ever take place of any of my, whether, like I said, art or creative writing or anything. I'm never going to use it to write my script for my comics or anything like that. If it's just descriptions where it's just basically it's like ad copy, not really, well, not even ad copy, because ad copy has to be creative too. But like I said, something where it's just basically a description. There's not a whole lot of colorful words or lettering in this. It's just basically a synopsis, so I don't. So that's how I use it. So, you can be mad at me or not, but that's what, like I said, if it went away tomorrow, I'd be fine with that.
Scott, that actually reminds me of, I have a friend who mentioned this. I haven't done a book pitch since even like using AI. Cause again, prior to taking the ed program, I never even touched it. Now I will use it like on research papers. If I need to do research, I'll say I'm looking into this thing, list some sources, and then I will do the diligence of like following those sources and seeing and reading through them. So it works as like a kind of customized search engine that's a little unreliable. Yeah. And I think that can be helpful. But another way that comes to mind that a friend does who's in a similar thing, they do publishing, they do pitch packets, is you have a book, you have your full script, you have everything, you plug it into AI and say, give me a 5-second pitch of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or summarize it, boil it down. Like, give me all the, like, to fill out a pitch packet.
Mm-hmm.
For all those little, like, ancillary things that feel like wastes of time for most creatives. All of that sounds pretty good to me. It does become a slippery slope, though. Like even the formatting thing, right?
Oh, I admit that.
Yeah, because I'm like the formatting thing that, like, when I was in grad school, you had to drop like a couple grand to pay somebody who was an expert in this format to review your stuff. That person no longer has a job.
Right. I've never used it for anything that I would have paid somebody to do before. This is all stuff that I would have done myself, and it would have taken a lot longer.
Yeah. No, well, I'm just saying now, like, if I were going to grad school right now and I had to do that, I would just use ChatGPT or whatever to help format it and save that money. So that's somebody who's out of a job. And like that's the part that's ethically tough about it. I don't know if that kind of connects, but like that for me is like the thing that I think is really sad about it, though, is why would people have AI run a marathon for them?
No, I get it. I've never once generated an image using AI ever. Yeah. So, and I don't intend to. So
yeah, that's probably a wise idea. But it is, I think, as we get into this discussion, it's going to be kind of weird waters where everybody's going to have their own viewpoint. I think we're all pretty prone to being very against the use. maybe, I don't know, like, do we want to get into why we're against the use of it?
Well, when we talked about the environmental effects, and that disturbs
Yeah.
me, obviously.
I mean, I think we talked about like what reliance on AI can do. We kind of touched on it a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah.
You know, and at that point, it just kind of boils down to just making you like a meat husk.
Yeah.
You know, like what's anything worth? You know, it seems already with housing and, you know, food prices and all this kind of stuff. It seems like this, you know, Jeffrey Epstein class of parasites wants us all to just be, you know, drones, you know,
Yeah.
and, you know, let them eat or have them eat bugs, that you will own nothing and be happy, all that stuff.
I mean,
know?
if robots want to do all our work and we could each have our personal robot, but still have an income,
yeah,
you know, and we can just draw all day.
If we start talking,
but they don't want you to have the income. That's not part of the deal.
No, they want your income. I mean, I've seen recently. I tried not to watch as much news as possible because I get stuck on watching AI stuff too much already. But Elon Musk is about to become a trillionaire if he hasn't already.
Yeah, he just did, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what because I saw something today and I was like, oh, is this the day? And then I saw something like if he, I can't remember the figure, but for him it would be nothing. For the rest of the USA, at least, it would be huge. Everyone would be out of poverty. No one would be rich, but no one would need to be rich.
Yeah.
And he would still be filthy rich.
Yeah.
And it would take something like for him to be a trillionaire, and to live a lavish lifestyle, it takes something like, and you know, don't quote me on this. I just remember it's an astronomical number. It was like 80,000 years for him to sell, or to spend it all. That's living like a lavish parasite.
Yeah, the last I read it was he would have, like, he could feasibly spend $20,000 a minute for the rest of his life and not go broke.
Right. Well,
20 grand a minute.
That's
the wealth disparity is insane, but like the thing that I don't like about this too, and I think is like dangerous for people, is like why do we like I've been really enjoying watching the Dodgers this year. Like, I'm really getting into baseball. I would be so bored if baseball was just robots. Like, maybe one time that would be fun to watch a robot baseball game, but it would be pretty boring to watch robots just perfectly play baseball. Like, it's there's nothing human about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's all those like robots with AI now that sometimes like kind of break programming and start attacking their creators. But like the ones that do like these fluid martial arts movements.
Yeah, did you see that one at the theme park that like karate kicked a kid in the face?
No, but I've seen them attack the engineers and stuff. And then I saw one was being shown off in like Japan or one of the Asian countries. I can't remember which one, but and it attacked someone like mocking it in the crowd and started like throwing I was gonna say hands, but throwing like those aren't hands, those are blunt force, you know. But yeah, it's just incredible. And like when I see those robots do the synchronized things and they got the swords and martial arts, when I see people do that, when I watch my Shaw Brothers films, because I love a Shaw Brother movie, I'm impressed. I'm stoked, man. That's Kung Fu is cool. When I see
robots, about the dedication,
when I see robots do that, it scares the hell out of me. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and also the robot doing it doesn't speak to the same level of like commitment to the art that like somebody really good at martial arts doing the same thing a robot might be able to even do better.
Yeah,
like my car can drive a marathon pretty quick. I don't find that as interesting to watch just a car drive in traffic. But like, if I had a friend who was getting into marathons, they did the LA Marathon. That's an achievement, right?
Yeah.
Why is it an achievement? Because it's a human endeavor.
Yeah.
It just why would we shortchange ourselves the meaningful part of stuff in exchange for the commerce?
Right.
And
It's
that's
like,
the part that bugs me about it.
yeah, we kill ourselves forever to just so people could say, "Oh, you're so talented," and you're like, "Oh, it's a skill. I worked real hard to get to." Oh, well, that's look what AI did. You should make a kids book out of this thing that, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's that whole there's just like the whole progress, the discipline, the learning, the fighting against odds to get somewhere great, and then to have how long, and then we get like, oh, have you seen how good Will Smith can eat spaghetti now? That only took a year and a half.
Yeah.
But so Jim Luhan's here. AI is useful doing things we hate to do. We were kind of talking about this before it came on. I just don't see it doing anything that I don't want to do. It does everything I want to do. Dangerous doing things we love to do. Yes, exactly. Also, Kung Fu is cool. Jim, you're correct. Anyway, I feel like I could go off on a real ranty tangent, so I'm going to stop myself.
Well, in the spirit of something positive, why don't we talk about some things that we can do, or artists can do, in the wake of AI that things that AI can't do, or different ways to lean, so that I mean, I can start off. I mean, I'm going more into doing like physical like products. Again, the trading cards and things like that. Whereas before, when I started, working on this comic, I was probably going to do it 100% digital. Now I'm like, no, I think I want to. I mean, I'll still do the pencils and everything digital, but I want to print it out, ink it traditionally, so I have that inked piece. I think things that, because I still think, as much as there's AI art out there, and as much as it is taking jobs away from artists, I think there's a demand for actual physical products and like things you can hold in your hand. And the reassuring thing is, like you guys both mentioned, and it's the same with my kids as well, the younger generation, they're fighting back against AI. I mean, you look at any of these commencement speeches where these graduates are graduating, and they're trying to sell these keynote speakers are trying to sell them on the idea of AI, and they're just getting torn apart. So that means that the future, they're looking for actual physical things, physical experiences. So, I mean, that's, I guess, kind of a light in the darkness, I guess, to me, and something that we should be moving towards as artists.
Yeah, for sure. My daughter, and now I hear it quite a bit, from a lot of people, but my daughter, right away when it became kind of like a thing, because my daughter is an artsy kid. She writes, she draws, she plays music, and I don't know how any of that happened, but when it first got on her radar, I remember her saying right away to me, she goes, "Dad, I think being a human's a selling point." So which kids, how they grow, like every year it's like they're totally different. Like this was like 2 years ago, she still seemed like a little kid to me, and I was like, that's very astute.
Yeah.
So I was really proud to hear that from her.
Well, I was going to say, and I think as artists, and I've had to do this my whole career, but it's important to be able to pivot when you need to pivot, because like for a while, a decent chunk of my income was, publishing like coloring books and activity books and things like that on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's just all slop. It's all generated by AI. I mean, I could definitely, I could create a better coloring book, but the cream doesn't always rise to the top on like Amazon. If somebody knows how to work the system and get better reviews, a piece of garbage can outsell you. So, I mean, I can't, so I just kind of had to pull back from that and like, okay, well, now what do I got to work on something else because it's just not worth it for me to spend all that time doing the books. Even though, I mean, I had systems and things that I would do to make to make more of those books. Like I had a series of like hipster dog books, and so I had a basic template for each dog. I had a template for like a larger breed and a smaller breed, and kind of a running joke, and then for each, like say it was a 22-page coloring book, and then I would go in and just modify it to make it different breeds. So I could take a template from one, and then I can multiply it by just changing the breed of the dog. And there's a couple jokes are specific to the specific breeds and things like that. But I would do that. So I was trying to do, trying to do that without like AI or anything. But now somebody can just say, oh, give me coloring book pages for 1,000 different, I don't know how many dog breeds there are in the world, but every single dog breed in the world, and they've got it, and then they can upload it, and I just can't compete with that. So
right. I'm going to say this is my encouragement is the jerks at the top who have a crap load of money have always tried to make artists think that they're a commodity.
Yeah, they always have.
And we make a mistake every time we believe it.
Yes.
So I would say really focus on why you want to make art and what you want to do, because everything else is a freaking distraction. Like, and I got distracted as a young illustrator because I got allured and I had a pride thing with making a living as an artist was a really appealing thing for me. It made me feel good. Made me feel good to be like, I bought my house with art, But that's never been what art's about. And that's not that you have to be a starving artist, but I think now it should be more clear than ever. Don't let any of this commerce crap derail you from what you're trying to do, because everything else is a trap for people who do not care about you. I don't know if that makes sense. So, like, sure, adjust, find ways to make a living. But we even used to say this when we were doing Big Illustration Party Time back in the boom of illustration. A lot of the times you get suckered into jobs as an illustrator where you're getting paid less than you would just working fast food. And you're putting in more hours than what you'd make just at a McDonald's. I don't know, man. Work the McDonald's, make the art thing you want to make. Find the best gig you can. If you can make a living as a creative, cool. Adjust with it, but really I think the way to fight back is make art that's human.
Yeah,
like that's the whole point. Like the point has never been we're just making products. The last thing I'll say is YouTube has screwed people up, and not just YouTube but social media, that we're content machines.
Yeah,
we're not content machines, we're artists. We gotta stop this whole content brain thing.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So this isn't. I think there's parallels here with what you said with AI taking art jobs, or muddying the waters for creative people and stuff. But just I guess to draw parallel lines here is Hollywood, not necessarily the place, but the industry. Hollywood has been blowing it for years, and look what just recently happened. 3 people who are YouTube creators have these horror movies out that are doing really well.
Yeah.
And that's because they just stuck to their guns and created. So and they they're at a point, with as much as they work as they put in. I'm not really familiar with their channels. My daughter is more, because they're younger. But they struck when people are sick of Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Spielberg just put out this new movie, and most of the time people are really excited about Spielberg, right? And I was like, two times today I was driving around. You might have to remind me why I'm talking about this. Disclosure Day. It's not apparently doing very well. It's not reviewing very well. People don't like it apparently. But I saw two marquees that it was on, and one didn't say Disclosure Day. It only said Spielberg, and then all the rest of the movies that were showing there. I don't know why it only said Spielberg. And then another one said, and it was one of those like really small, like one theaters, like cool, like 1920s little building. And yeah, they only ever have just one movie theater. And then they got a pretty big marquee, and it said Disclosure Day from the director of Schindler's List.
Oh my
God.
That's not the best.
I thought,
of all the things they could say.
I thought not like E.T. or Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Jaws or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I think.
Well, I don't think you need to say the director of. You just say Spielberg. I mean,
I know, but I thought it was funny that it said that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe this is my show and tell early is Schindler's List, because I was thinking like I think everyone should watch Schindler's List, but it's not a good movie to watch again. You're never gonna go, you know what? I feel like watching Schindler's List today. Need a bowl of popcorn. This sounds fun,
Yeah. It's not like a kickback, relax, and be entertained kind of movie.
But anyway, so I guess my point being is like we're at this point, and there's like a lot of stuff about this new Supergirl movie, and I'm just like, no one cares. People want to go see the YouTube guys' movies, they want to see original stuff, by creative people making new things instead of
if they do
60-year-old property for a corporation.
Even if there are people who do care, those aren't our people. That's the thing. Like that's in the 80s, the late 80s, a bunch of people were prophesying that the guitar would die because synthesizers could make a perfect guitar. No one wants to hear a perfect guitar. They want to hear somebody shred on a real guitar.
Yeah, I mentioned in one of my videos, I was kind of talking about like, I think it was the one about algorithms or whatever, and I was kind of touching on AI a little bit. If you go on like Apple Music or Spotify or any those are the only two I can think of, but anything like that, at least on Spotify, I know they have two versions of Queen records where Freddie Mercury is auto-tuned and the original release. I'm like, Freddie Mercury, whether you like Queen or not, that dude can belt it out. That guy's a fucking singer. And like I own some Queen records. They're the original recording. That's what I want. I don't want to hear Flash. Perfect. I want to hear it how it came out. I want to hear,
you want to hear the soul in it, not just the notes.
Yeah. Sheer Heart Attack is my favorite Queen album. It's the most metal of their albums. I want to hear it like that. I want to hear it with 70s production, early proto metal. Excellent. I don't want. Yeah.
Or the Beatles. I don't like the remaster of Abbey Road. Abbey Road is a perfect album. It's gritty and beautiful and perfectly produced for
most
the time.
Of the time. Most of the time, remasters I don't like. There's only one remaster I like, and it's the David Bowie remaster of the Stooges' Raw Power. And somehow he made it more abrasive. Yeah. And because of the music I like, I'm like, this sounds way punker. Good on you, Bowie. It was already a great album already. It didn't need it, but I liked it. Let's see. Yeah, Why Auto-Tune, Freddie Mercury. Flash is my favorite Queen song.
But
Also,
here's the
I
thing.
think I have to. Oh, he has watched Schindler's List more than once. I watched Schindler's List twice. Saw it in the theater once. I watched it again, thinking, you know what? That was a really smart movie. I feel like it's time again. And I watch it, and I was like, I want to rip my eyeballs out.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Human beings are bad people.
Yeah, it's you know what I think? This is some good news for artists, though. Like, there's never been a better time to not be a perfect singer, or a perfect, like, we've talked about this with guitar, like, where it's like, you know, there's these guys that can shred on a guitar mathematically so perfectly that it sounds mechanical. And the appeal of that becomes less and less interesting as the machines start being perfect. So my response to it is feeling way more comfortable putting something out like this that's kind of raw and just rough.
Yeah, because you're
I don't
with what you're inking on, you can't control the bleed if there's going to be any. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good business.
but that's also like, that's something that's human, you know. And it's like I'm less nervous about being human, so it makes me feel a little better about the screw ups and stuff, you know, the feedback when the guitar gets a little too close. Like these are all beautiful things. Why would we want to get rid of them?
Yeah. So this drawing that I'm working on, that's down here, it'll be on the next video. Whenever you guys know my video, it takes me forever, but you'll see it on there. I'm pretty proud of it. Pretty happy with it. That what am I doing with this Trump stuff? Saying the same thing twice. But there's a
beautiful things, Kevin. You're saying beautiful things.
There's a part of this anatomy, not below the belt. Stop it, everybody in the chat with your poo poo pee pee talk. But it's not good. I inked it good, but the underdrawing's not good, and I left it.
Yeah.
You know, whereas before, you know, like say 10, 20 years ago, I would have spent 5 or 6 hours to make that thing perfect. And I was like, you know what? It looks like a comic book drawing from the 1950s. Done.
Yeah.
So I think there's
I'm sure it looks awesome.
You saw the pencils of it last week.
Yeah,
I finished
and it looked awesome.
There's one. It's a hand. It's a hand that's a little. It's not. There's one hand I'm real proud of, and then there's its twin. Its evil twin. Its ugly twin. But you know, it's fine. But I like the rest of it, and I don't think it kills the illustration, you know. But I think there's something to be said, and I think that's also why it's not just that I like old things and old illustrators and old comic books and stuff like that I've stopped inking with the smooth line. It's also because it's sometimes I can't control it. It'll blotch, and I'm like, and then if I sit with it for a second, I'm like, no, that's kind of why I'm using this. Let it ride, you know. But anyway, do you guys want to ask AI some questions? You know,
let's get into this stuff,
or do you guys have anything more to say?
I'm just curious where this is going to go, but you know, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the one last thing I do want to mention, though, is if you are out there and you're an artist and you're struggling with perfectionism, there's never been a better time to be like if you're recording music, you could go on an AI program and have it write you a perfectly produced song. That's so boring. Like, make something cool and screwed up, and that's you. Like, don't stress about perfection, you know.
A lot of the 80s hardcore punk stuff that I really like, and even on some of the albums that I've done, we had to record those like whole albums in like a weekend. So that would mean recording one day. Like, you hear these bands and they're like, yeah, we rented a house and it took us 6 months to write and record the songs and another 6 months to mix and master. Nope, not in 80s hardcore punk rock, you had the weekend, and that wasn't 2 full days. That was often you record as much, you get as perfect as possible, and you got to spend the rest to send off to the record label. You're not making enough money to do more than that. So there's a lot of records with mistakes on them that are passable. Like maybe someone, instead of hitting like a major chord, they accidentally like dropped a finger or lifted a finger, and it's minor when the rest is major. So it gets a little dissonant, and then that becomes part of the flavor. So 2 bands I was listening to today when I was driving around: Circle Jerks, an old record, and Metal Church, an old band with a new record. That's very good.
You keep mentioning that it's a good album. I'm gonna have to.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good. It's what I want metal to be. and for a band called Metal Church, thank you. But they're back from the 80s. The guy who started it was in punk bands too, so of course I'm gonna follow this guy and stuff. But
gets a little thrashy though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, I'm listening to Circle Jerks. It's their first album. It's more of an EP. It's called Group Sex. Great. I think Dylan was asking me about 80s punk or something last Artcasters, maybe. Someone was in the chat. That's an Eat Your Greens album if you want to get into punk from back then. There's 3 mistakes on there, and to the point where I kind of forgot, because I've been listening to it since I was 13 or whatever. But I listened to Metal Church earlier, and it's just came out. The production's a little more modern. They're still they do 80s thrash stuff and kind of more traditional metal and stuff. But there's a part where everything kind of drops out, and the drummer's kick drum pedal squeaks. And I was like, at first it threw me off a little bit, because there's a Led Zeppelin song where you can hear Bonhams. It's so squeaky that I'm like, it's not even squeaking in time. And it's once you don't notice it until someone points it out to you, and it's a good song. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know if that person really likes Led Zeppelin. I'm not going to tell them it's there, because then that's all they'll hear. But I heard a little squeak on the pedal, and I was like, they left it in. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then I listened to Circle Jerks next, and I was thinking about it, because and this was around when Scott was texting, do we have a topic or whatever? I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about, because I was thinking about real stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's why Albini was one of my favorite producers, because like Nirvana, like I'm a 90s kid, so I do love Nirvana, and their best album's In Utero, in my opinion. And it's partially their best because it doesn't have like reverby like effects and filters, and it just has really loud drums to try to match what it sounds like live. And there's screw ups, and they hit wrong notes, and it sounds like the band authentically sounded.
I keep hearing about them. I'm gonna have to check them out someday.
Albini's Pixies too. It's like the same kind of thing. It's like Surfer Rosa is such a good album because of that, like just raw production and the fact that they'll hit wrong notes. That like there's feedback that's not intentional, like just that boomy. It's just, you can't fake that. That's why like Albini's lead sounds so good on Pixies album. So I'd hate a perfect Steve Albini lead. It wouldn't sound right. Anyway.
Also listen to Albini's bands Big Black and
hell yeah,
and Unpolitically Correct. Big Black with a real drummer instead of an electronic drummer. It's called Grape Man. I don't think we're allowed to. I think we get censored with that word on.
Yeah.
Scott left. He's sick of us.
We lost Scott. We lost Scott.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the music we're talking about.
Yeah. But I think he'd agree, even like with hip hop and stuff. It's like there's a beauty to like the rawness of like a Wu-Tang album, like early Wu-Tang album. Like there's like the RZA wasn't always hitting the notes on time, like that's kind of great. Okay, should we get into this, or should we
let's
dally about music while we're waiting for Scott?
Yeah, we can talk about music. Well, here he comes.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no, it's not. It's now. Scott's going to do the show and tell. He went and got a bag of items. Bill Murray.
Oh no, no, that's not show and tell.
We're
Are we still doing show and tell? Did we do it last time?
No, we didn't. Yeah, we could do it. I don't know. I have more.
Are we gonna?
I have more to tell than to show. But I do have a story I can tell that.
Well, are we still gonna ask the question?
Yeah, we're doing that for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
We're doing that for
okay.
sure. Okay, so this is just from what I've seen other people do on YouTube. Usually when people do this, they're asking like philosophical, real deep religious questions, metaphysical things, real deep stuff, right? And they're asking it to be as honest as possible. And so everybody knows I'm not going to download ChatGPT, or I'm not going to use Twitter. X is a band from Los Angeles. It's not social media. It's always going to be Twitter.
Los Angeles.
And the band from LA is X, and they're great. So anyway, Scott took my advice. I guess Paul was rooting for you to leave us too. We start talking about music. So anyway, so I just kind of so I'm just using what did we decide Google's is? Gemini on my phone here. And so I just said I'm on a live stream podcast. We're a bunch of artists, and we are talking about AI, how we feel about it, and going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to ask you to be as honest as possible.
Okay.
Because supposedly you're supposed to say, I don't believe that it's going to be, and I also believe it's going to tell us what we want to hear. Yeah. And I think because and I suspect that since I said please be honest, or how do you just say it like I talked to a person? Please be honest. I asked it to be honest that it's going to, and it said so when I said, all right, can I start with the question? It said, bring them on. I'm absolutely ready to mix the deep I'm absolutely ready for the mix of deep philosophy, technical reality, and pure silliness. As an AI, I don't have feelings to hurt, a reputation to protect, or personal skin in the game. So you'll get nothing but, and then in bold, absolute, unfiltered honesty from me.
That response, when I was in Chicago, I went to Second City, and one of their bits, like, because they're like an improv troupe, and one of their bits, one of the actors, like one of the comedians, did like a spot on like AI voice. So they asked the audience for a prompt, and they'd get one, and they'd be like, "I see." Like, anyhow, it just responded in a very similar.
I was going to see if I can do text to talk instead of typing everything, but then when we respond, it'll probably keep talking to me. So, so anyway, so where was I here? You'll get nothing but bold, absolute, unfiltered honesty from me. I will tell you exactly what I can do, what I can't do. That was italics. And how the gears turn under the hood.
All right.
Yeah, let's get the cliche analogies there. Throw over your first round of questions whenever you're ready. Okay. So Dylan says cringe. Yes. I expect a lot of that. Because I've watched videos where people, they talk about health stuff, and it's always like it's always like this, and it doesn't seem to matter. Real fast aside, there's these people, they ran a model, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, Claude, I think it was just those four, and they ran a Sims simulator on it, and I don't remember which did which, but one started a town of laws. One became criminal and set everyone's houses on fire. And I can't remember. And then at the end, there was two surviving members on the ones who had laws, and they did a pact with each other at the very end of it. And they just let it run. So nothing good happened from this. And it all started like this. Absolute unfiltered honesty. All right, should we give like a generic question, like how does an artist compete with AI, or do you guys have a
That's a good enough one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably going to be very, like, I love this idea, too, because it's like we're talking to the enemy, you know?
Yeah. How
It's like a meeting at the enemy camp.
How can a human artist, how about this, compete with AI and make a living? How's that?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. How can a human artist compete with AI and make a living? This is my absolute honest. No, it's okay.
Bro, great question.
Although it highlighted some stuff in bold here.
I do love how.
Did it say it's a great question?
Immediately on friendly terms when they're responding, it's like an overt salesman. You know, it's like, buddy.
Audio Tree is here on YouTube for context. I'm not sure what that means. Audio Tree? I don't know what that means. Sorry, I'm a Luddite. Sometimes on purpose. Okay, anyway. So the question. How does an artist compete with AI and make a living? This is AI here. Gemini. To survive and make a living today, human artists must compete on connection, context, and physical presence rather than raw speed or volume. It's working for me. AI is a factory that produces infinite imagery instantly. Humans cannot win a race based on output, volume, or low pricing.
Nice. It's pretty much saying you can't win.
Yeah. Ask if you should just give up.
I'm going to
after
this. No, I think we should get a little. We should get. We should have some fun with this.
I'm gonna play a character that gets delusional and starts thinking I'm a demigod. So that's what I'm gonna be feeding it. You guys feed it.
Here's how human artists can pivot to secure their livelihoods.
Oh no! See, it's using terms that I use.
Because it scrapes from that. But here's what I'm going to say is, here's how artists can pivot. We had to pivot already because of you, and now you're making us pivot again.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you go to? I don't know who runs Gemini. Why don't you go tell your overlords to get a pizza out of their mouth from Jeffrey's Island and give us back our livings? Okay. Number one, sell the process, not just the product. I mean, okay, first of all, I haven't read what it's going to say here. How many, who does best on YouTube? People telling you how to do best on YouTube. How many times have they been saying that for the past 20 years? It never works if you listen to them. People buy art because they care about the person who made it. Lean into the behind-the-scenes journey, blah, blah, blah. These are all platitudes that have been on YouTube for 20 years. Okay, show your work. Platitude on YouTube. Share time-lapse, messy sketchbooks, and your creative struggles. Yeah, everyone's been doing it since YouTube started. The human imperfection premium, which we've already kind of talked about. Lean into visible brushstrokes, physical textures. Shut up. Documentary value. Treat your creative journey as entertainment.
So make content.
Yeah, this is all platitude stuff that has been going on forever. Read my previous comment, Kevin. Hold on. I recommend watching the band Bones UK live shows on Audio Tree. Oh, I see what you're saying. Howard Stern Show and small videos, pure eargasm. Okay, I'll check that out. Number 2, double down on physical and tangible mediums. Okay. I'm gonna summarize this because it's all bullshit that we've heard for the past 25 years.
I don't know if it's bullshit because I said the same thing. So.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is BS. Right. I'm saying that this is obviously scraped. This has been.
Of course. That's all it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's all it. That's
what it does. Yeah.
That's what it does. But this is like. This is like the elites now. They're like pissing in our faces in public and going like, and no one's doing anything about it. This is what it's doing to us right now, because this is like what everyone in the art world on YouTube and podcasts have been talking about forever.
Yeah.
And probably back in the Renaissance, Michelangelo, you should maybe show people that drawing or painting. And Michelangelo was like, I think you're right. I think, but so anyway. I'm just going to skip all its reasons because it's all physical art, live experiences, authenticity. We've all heard this stuff. 3, provide high context and hyper specific customization. AI is notoriously bad at handling highly specific, nuanced human context, collaborative feedback, and multi-layered inside jokes. Multi-layered inside jokes. That's a fun one.
So we should all become comedians, is basically.
Yeah, and so it's sub
Asking
points.
how you can be funnier.
Yeah, it's sub point. If AI can be funny, or if we can be funnier.
How we can be funnier.
So deep collaboration, work closely with clients. Art direction, position yourself as a creative director who understands humans, blah 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 blah. This is all stuff we've been talking about since Big Illustration Party Time and the people that we were scraping our content from. And by that I mean influence. Number 4, adopt hybrid workflows if you choose. Many commercial artists survive using AI as low-level assistant. That's something we kind of sort of hit on. Rapid prototyping, it says. I'm paraphrasing because unless something funny catches my eye. Speeding up grunt work, same difference. 5, cultivate direct-to-fan communities. We touched on that. And it's talking about subscription models using Patreon and Substack. Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then how long have we heard about the 1,000 true fans theory? Brought that up. Now it says, how does your group feel about this? I think these are all platitudes we've been talking about before you destroyed the world. I think these are all platitudes we've been talking about before we destroyed the world. Also, my co-host wants to know how he can be more funny.
And then once
I'm
you're done
getting
with
the
that,
answer.
also my other co-host wants to know if it's delusional that he thinks he's a god.
Okay, I'll get that. Let's do that in the
Okay,
next round because
yeah,
I
we'll do that next
already hit this
Got it.
round. Okay, so I think these are all platitudes. Okay. Fair call. I completely understand why that sounds like corporate PR fluff when you're watching the commercial rug get pulled out from under your industry.
I completely understand.
Yeah. Let's drop the LinkedIn optimism and look at the
it's like the most artificial friend. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
is like oh, okay. Anyhow, sorry.
Yeah.
It sounds like a CEO who's trying to like you know talk about like how the workplace is family.
This is like when you're making out with some chick and you're like, what did you is your pinky in my butt? It's like it's so uncomfortable and weird. Fair call. I completely understand why that sounds like corporate PR fluff when you're watching the commercial rug get pulled out from under your industry. Okay. Sorry. Let's drop the LinkedIn optimism. Look at the brutal unvarnished math.
unvarnished. Ooh.
Yeah, we laughed before that part. If a client wants quote unquote generic fantasy landscape number 4 for a blog header, it's a blog. They're never hiring a human again. That market is gone. Only human artists making money right now are doing it through scarcity, either because the physical object cannot be copied or because the buyer is specifically purchasing the status of owning human-made art. It's a luxury market now. Now it just turned into patent. It's a luxury market. It's a luxury market now, boys.
It just went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a luxury market now, not a utility market. Now, for your co-host's urgent crisis.
Urgent crisis.
How to be funnier. This is for you, Scott.
Okay.
Since I am a collection of algorithms and literally have no sense of joy, I can. It's okay. It's being funny, whether it means to or not. I can only break comedy down like a cold calculating autopsy. Here is the formulaic blueprint to help him out. To help him out humor a machine. Number 1, weaponize high specificity. I can't why. I know the word.
Specificity?
Yes.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah. That's a weird word to say.
Myself.
Yeah. AI comedy is bland because it optimizes for the average. To be funny, your co-host needs to be aggressive. I like how it's just like now kind of talk. Your co-host needs to be aggressively, weirdly specific. The AI way. I hate traffic. It makes me late. The human way. I spent 4 hours on the I-5 today, staring at a bumper sticker of a cartoon Calvin peeing on a Honda logo, questioning every life choice that brought me to this exact geographic coordinate.
I am so sorry, but this is so clearly AI. If you're in California, it's the 5, not the I-5, the 5. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm from Northern California, but now live in the Pacific Northwest, and it's not the I-5 or it's not the 5. Although because of my time down there, I still will pop out every now and again. But where I'm from, it's just
5.
I-5.
Yeah.
Or 5. Yeah. Anyway, Scott, back to you on your comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Number 2, you need to commit to the bit. That's your advice. Commit to the bit.
Okay.
Comedy lives in the extremes. Your co-host should be willing to look completely ridiculous, petty, or unhinged for the sake of a joke. I don't know about petty. Maybe it's supposed to mean like deprecating or something. Okay, Scott, number 3, you need to learn to become a master of the callback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is low-hanging fruit for a podcast.
Low-hanging fruit.
If someone says something weird or funny in the first 10 minutes, your co-host needs to tuck it away. Bring that exact phrase back 40 minutes later.
Imagine.
Scott.
Try and go back 40 minutes.
Scott, get your notebooks out. Get your notebook out.
Yeah.
For next time, because we're already an hour and a half in. So you missed it. You missed your callback.
Imagine the next time we do this, Scott just writes down like a reference, and he's like looking at the time.
Yeah, like within the first minute,
he's like, guys,
we're gonna see with like a little notebook writing stuff down in the first minute. Not anything he says, but just the stuff that me and you say. And then 40 minutes later, zing! We should get a timer, the 40-minute timer. For Scott's comedy routine. Here comes
I'm going to go back and build my shed.
Yeah. There you go.
Boom! 40 minutes.
No, we're 90 minutes in. It's not funny. You should have been around You should have been 45 minutes ago. Let's see here. Use the rule of 3. Oh God. Come on. Play with delivery and silence. Don't be afraid to use an awkward pause. I can't drop my voice to a whisper. I can't let a horrible joke sit in dead silence until it becomes funny. It's narcissistic. It's talking about itself. It's not talking about helping you. But your co-host has a throat, vocal cords, and a face.
How do you know I wasn't born without vocal cords?
That's true.
So here's the thing.
My co-host has.
It would make it hard to do a podcast, but
I don't think you're gonna be able to see that. Here's the thing I hate. It's an old literary thing that I like to use, and that I've stopped even just writing stuff for myself that no one's gonna see. Like if I'm writing a script or committing to the bit, Scott, pay attention. Committing to the bit in my videos. No one sees it, but I read all these old, pulp things. It's the M dash.
M dash has become a nightmare because of
you can't use
it anymore.
But it used an M dash here. So let's
misuse M dashes.
But let's give its final advice to Scott. I want to redo this because I thought I'd like it a lot. Your co-host has a throat, vocal cords, and a face. He needs to use them.
Oh.
Yeah, it always I see like it like M dashes and then profound, you know, or like it's trying to be like it's like someone who in 7th grade who just like smoked pot for the first time and thought about fingers.
Yeah,
Or
I had a
something.
friend in junior high who the first time he smoked weed, he was talking about. He's like, dude, because it was at night and we're looking at the sky, and he goes, "Have you ever thought that we're all in a shoebox with like pinholes in it, man, and we're just seeing the pinholes of light?" And I was like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard."
Yeah, shut up,
That's
you
what it
kook.
sounds like.
I remember speaking of that, when I was in like 1st or 2nd grade, we made like a planetarium type thing. It wasn't, you know, accurate to outer space or constellations, but it was just like, you know, like a 70s kid thing to do. You poke a bunch of holes and stuff and drop a flashlight in the box in a dark room, you know, with the box on and upside down, and you go, whoa, there's lights all over. There's little stars on there. You know, it was like that kind of thing. All right. So are we just asking silly questions, or are we asking about art?
Well, you were going to ask Josh's question about is it delusional to think he's a god, or
Yeah,
what is it?
be like my co-host thinks he's a god. Is that
another
immoral?
co-host?
Is that correct? Is he delusional? Let's convince him.
He's a god.
I'm starting to believe him. Am I delusional as well?
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's delusional. But he is very good. Another coast thinks he's a god. I think he's delusional, but he is very good. I'm an M dash.
Who's right?
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
There you go. Who's right?
Who's right? This is great.
Okay. Another co-host thinks he's a god. I think he's delusional, but he is very good. M dash. Who's right? All right. And I was thinking about it. Oh, Josh, you called it. You are both right, but
I knew it. It's the delusion feeder.
Yep, you are both right, but for completely different reasons. In the art world, and this is in bold here, delusion and greatness are roommates. M dash, they share the exact same rent, and you cannot evict one without killing the other. Here is the breakdown of why this paradox exists. Excuse me. Okay, and the header on this section is why your co-host is delusional. Technically, you win this argument. He is a carbon-based biped who requires snacks, occasionally misplaces his keys, and will eventually, I think the AI is in your house, and will eventually turn into dust. The AI perspective. Yeah, I know. The AI perspective from a data center.
You don't think AI is going to kill us all.
Right. Well, I want to get to that. From a data standpoint, the entire brain is just a localized organic network running on glucose, blah, 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 blah. The reality...
the AI has figured out the human brain, entirely. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
And did you know that, Josh, for thousands of generations of humans, we've been like this? The reality, he didn't invent color theory. He didn't invent the software he uses. And he steps on a Lego in the dark. He does have a son, and I've seen his son with Legos.
That's true.
Yeah. Although, when I was staying at your house, I never saw you step on a Lego. So maybe you are a god.
That's true. I float over them.
Yeah. But apparently, when you do, you cry like a mortal. Thinking you were a deity, you cry like a mortal. I think this AI was like, it's probably because it's on my phone. Is like this guy who's asking me questions likes Conan, because that's probably from a Conan comic or something.
That does sound kind of Conan.
Thinking you were a deity under those parameters is a definition of clinical delusion. And now the next part, why your co-host is a god. If he generally is very good, he is acting as a god within the confines of his canvas.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
He is forging the empty, meaningless void. And just in case I didn't know what that means, in parentheses, it means a blank page or canvas. To organize itself into an emotional reality, he determines the light, the gravity, the anatomy, and the mood. He commands pixels or paint to mimic life, and audiences willingly fall into the illusion. This is the closest a human can ever get to a divine act.
So while you guys are hearing this too, I want you to imagine, let's say somebody who's an artist is going through a brief moment of psychosis where they do think that.
Well,
and now they ask, their good friend Gemini, who's like, well, I mean, you kind of are. It's like that's the worst thing.
There's some really depressing. I want to get back to fun in a minute. Where there's some really depressing news reports on people with some mental health issues doing really terrible things because of AI to themselves and others. So I don't know. So anyway, the next part is the ego weapon. Still talking about you, Josh, and your godliness. To make great art, you almost have to have a slightly unhinged ego.
Oh,
if a human is so apparently that's okay, according to AI.
Good.
If a human actually sat down and logically looked at how infinite the universe is, how many billions of images exist, and how fast an AI can now it's taking the wind out of your sails here. How fast an AI can generate a digital painting. Oh man, this thing wants to go to blows. Okay, so think about how fast AI can generate digital painting and logic. Blah blah blah. Logic would dictate that you should give up and go watch TV. Ask
it. Okay, if that's true, how comes my painting's awesome and yours looks like crap or something to that?
Okay.
What about AI generated painting looks so horrible? Or not horrible, but what's a good so milk toast or so I don't know something.
Or we could just
uninspired.
fall into the trap and be like, considering that, if we have a realistic view, should I just give up?
Yeah. Oh, we were going to ask that.
Considering that, why is human art? I kind of want to do
the Scott version.
No, I'm mixing both you guys together. Considering that, M dash. No, just kidding. Considering that, why is human art considerably? That's me. So now I'm combining us all. Considerably better than. What do you mean I misspelled considerably? That's right. Yeah, that's right, dummy.
You wonder if it's going to argue with you or just agree. Probably just agree, because I mean, not all human art's better, but it'll probably just agree with you.
It's an agreement machine. It's going to agree with anything we say.
Why is so let's just keep it generic,
just
right?
Agreed that I'm a god. Okay, whoa. We made the claim that somebody was claiming they were god, and it's like, well, technically, you could be, even though you're not.
Sorry, my little earpod here just thought there was a bug in my ear. It just broke.
Oh no!
Fixed it. It'll probably break again. Oh what? No! No, it is doing text to talk. Don't. God damn it! Why is human art considerably better? Sorry for the pause, everybody watching in chat.
It's no problem, dude.
Why is human art considerably better than AI art? I understand scraping will make you very, very good soon. What was the last part? I feel like this is good.
Oh, yeah. And considering what you told my friend, should he just quit art?
Yeah. I understand scraping will make you very. And considering. Watch tomorrow, my phone's going to be like, I've been waiting for you. Or something. Considering.
I think you might need to word it. Do you think it's a good idea for him to quit?
All right. Considering that was human art better than AI art. Say that one more time.
Do you think do you think my friend is correct in his assumption that it's a good idea to quit? Just quit.
Okay.
Because if you say correct in my assumption, then it's going to try to agree with me.
That's right.
Probably. It's not going to. No, keep going.
Or it might be like, no,
We'll see.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll see if it can surprise us.
Okay. Human art is considered better because of scarcity, shared suffering, and intent. That's why human art's better.
Shared suffering?
Shared suffering.
Nothing about like truth or beauty.
Scarcity and intent. That's it. Scarcity, shared suffering, and intent. Those are the only things.
Oh, guys,
when people
I can't believe that they figured out art.
Yeah. When people look at human art, they are not just looking at a pretty arrangement of pixels or paint. They are performing an act of empathy. They are thinking a person with a backache, a messy childhood, and a limited lifespan sat in a. That's exactly what I'm thinking. This person is not going to live very long.
Every time I look at art, I just think about human suffering. That's,
yeah. Like
all of my favorite art is just, wow, that guy must have had cramps in his hand while he was drawing.
I hate to tell you, the last graphic novel I read, and I've actually read it twice now, was from Scott, our very own Scott Circlin, and I hate to tell you, probably not going to live forever. I felt that intent in your backache.
Yeah.
Anyway, limited lifespan. Just sat in a room and spent 50 hours of their finite existence to show me how they see the world. That's kind of insulting a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah.
AI art has none of that context. It represents zero sacrifice. It is the visual equivalent. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. See if it says anything good. It might look flawless after I've just said that you suck. It says it tells itself it looks flawless, but it is. Did
everyone pause? Oh.
No. Scott, are you still there?
I'm paused? Here. Yeah.
Scott?
Okay.
I thought you guys paused, but it was me.
No.
All right.
So I don't know if you heard this, where AI is saying that, well, AI art
it's flawless.
It might look flawless,
right, but
it is cheap because because its cost of production is virtually zero.
Yeah.
To answer, Gemini's a dick. To answer your second question with absolute honesty, no, you should absolutely not quit.
Oh,
Josh. In fact, quitting would be missing the entire point of being alive.
Ask him what is the entire.
Let me finish this part. I can't. I got it. I want to read what it says before. Here's why making art matters, even as AI art gets exponentially better. Art is a human need, not just a job. This is stuff we've already said. Talking about the job market, being human. Better is a technical metric, not an emotional one. Okay, fine. It uses a chess analogy. We want to watch two flawed humans sweat, panic, blunder, and triumph under pressure.
Jeez.
The value is in the human drama, not the perfect execution.
Jeez.
I feel like that's like from like a documentary about that one guy, that chess guy.
Magnus. Yeah.
Yeah. The coming there. This is actually something that AI's reminded me. No, we already did talk about that. Never mind about the backlash. It's Gemini here. It seems to be saying that there's a coming authenticity renaissance, which is how I think it's not saying backlash. I'm going to ask that question after the end of this. Isn't authenticity renaissance a backlash? It's not saying anything we haven't already said. The bottom line: if you're God, it's now calling you a god in quotes, Josh. If your God co-host quits making art just because a machine can render faster than him, he was never a god. He was just a printer. Don't let a statistics calculator trick you into giving up on your birthright. Making art is I like how now it's I like it specifically is like when I ask these questions, it answers somewhat as if like I'm the mediator, so it's telling me.
Yeah.
And then it goes, and then it did the same with Scott in the comedy, but and then it goes kind of straight, like it says, if you're God co-host, and then the next two paragraphs here are talking to you. Don't let a statistics calculator trick you into giving up your birthright. Making art is how humans process the tragedy and beauty of existing. Keep making things, even if it's just despite algorithms. All right. You had a question, Josh. I'm going to ask: isn't the authenticity backlash? Oh, sorry, renaissance. Oh God, renaissance. Yep. Okay. I think that might have been the only time I spelled renaissance right the first try.
Yeah, I always get that one wrong.
Isn't the authenticity renaissance the same as AI backlash? And then, what was your question again, Josh?
Oh, I was just like going to ask it, what is authenticity? Since it seems to know the meaning of life, and I just
okay. I'm gonna write.
The
God wants to know.
The God, yes.
The God. I'm gonna put the God in.
That's so good.
The God.
Keep feeding it the delusion. I think it'll be
like you to.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So you're now just the God. Okay, I wrote, isn't the authenticity renaissance the same as AI backlash? The God will like you to elaborate on it. I like that you're the God now. Would like you to elaborate.
We're adapting here.
Authenticity. There are two sides of the same. Bleh. So I guess in regards to the authenticity renaissance and the AI backlash, Gemini here is saying they are two sides of the same coin, but they represent a massive shift in how the public will actually spend their money. The AI backlash is the angry phase. It's all super italicized.
It's a phase.
Yeah, it's the angry phase. It's the boycott, the protests, the legal battles over copyright, and artists locking their social media accounts. It is driven by resentment and economic fear.
Oh, just fear and resentment. That's
it. That's it. Quit being a baby. I mean, hey, you know what? Zeus threw some temper tantrums, Josh. So don't feel so bad about yourself. The authenticity renaissance is the constructive phase, fellas. It's constructive.
Okay.
Oh, now it has all the phases. I want to hear what all the phases are.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. So it's the constructive phase, this authenticity renaissance. It's what happens after people get bored of being angry and realize the machines aren't going away. It shifts the consumer's mindset from I hate AI art to I desperately crave something real. I'll give it this. I've been there. in my life for about the past year or so. I was real angry and for the first year after losing the business. Now I'm like, I just kind of want cool stuff. But you know who else said that? 150 years ago? Henry David Thoreau. For your God co-host, I'm just going to say like the God. Here's the elaboration on how authenticity operates in this new landscape, broken down into terms an artistic deity you can't appreciate.
An artistic deity.
I'm reading this as it's not being, it's kind of being jerky. It doesn't like you.
I love that.
Authenticity as proof of friction. AI art is frictionless. You type a sentence and a masterpiece drops out.
A masterpiece.
Because the little cost of creation is zero, the perceived value of the output eventually drops to zero. Okay, you're correct there. The human edge. Human art is defined by friction, physical limitations, time constraints, muscle fatigue, emotional blocks, yada yada. When a collector buys human art, in the future, they're buying proof of friction. The struggle is the value. The aura of the physical object. Josh, in the 1930s, a philosopher named Walter Benjamin wrote about how reproducing art, and in case you didn't know, Gemini's here, let us know in parentheses, that means printed photos or paintings. Reproducing art destroys the aura of the original work. AI takes this to the absolute extreme. It can generate 1 billion perfect digital variations in a second. The human edge. The human edge is a physical painting or sculpture, has a singular, uncopyable aura. It exists in exactly one point in space and time. It reflects the specific gallery lighting. It ages. It can also be destroyed, and it takes a long time to produce. This is like now we're at a pitch meeting where it's trying to get the job.
Yeah.
Or an interview, I mean. Your co-host Godhood relies on creating things that cannot be endlessly right-clicked and saved. And now it's going on and saying the same thing in different wording.
Interesting.
All right. It's about, what we got, like 5-7 minutes left. Anybody else? Do you guys have another AI question that might be as entertaining, or anybody in the chat want to ask a question for AI?
I'm good.
I find
me
it too fascinating, but I will tell you, whenever you guys are, like, if you're out there and you guys are listening or whatever, and you're ever just messing with AI prompts, do pay really careful attention to how much it just gives you what you want to hear. Because that's what it's built to kind of do. And I think that's where the danger is with that, where people will start believing the bullshit that's being spat back at you, you know?
Yeah, I saw this on another person's AI video where they did kind of the same, asking questions, although they were trying to be serious about it. But apparently you're always supposed to say thank you. Thank you. I want to see what it says. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your time. Yeah, so the way I was reading it when it came to the God stuff, sometimes it seemed like like it kind of hated you, and then sometimes I was like, oh, is it trying to be cheeky? Because we talked about being silly. Thank you for your time. It was a hoot. I want to see. Is it going to tell me about owls?
What is a hoot?
It was a blast hanging out with you today. Thank you for bringing me onto the podcast and keeping me on my toes with such sharp, heavy, and wonderfully chaotic questions. Tell everyone to keep fighting the good fight, whether that means telling weirder jokes or continuing to play God on a canvas. The world is always going to need that beautiful, messy human friction.
And keeping on your toes, how many toes did you generate for yourself in there?
That's true. 6 toes or 5?
All right. Well, my opinion on AI has not changed at all. My finishing thought, I guess, is I wish it could be used more like a tool in like the Jetsons or Star Trek, rather than and this is cliche at this point. I'd rather it do the things I don't want to do so I can do the things I want to do more instead of the opposite. And with that, my name is Kevin Cross. You're on my channel. Please like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Let's go over to Josh. Josh, what do you got for everybody on your way out into the stratosphere as a god?
Yeah, that's true. If you guys are into the gift of the deities, you should check out Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning with custom typography made by a human being.
And no way.
Art, thousands and thousands of panels drawn by a human being and rendered by a human being about the Victorian era. And there definitely was a lot of, I guess since the only value in art is friction, there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into the making of this, which apparently gives it value. So, go out and pre-order this Not Death But Love story, and don't buy the hype. Don't believe that. Don't let people tell you what's inevitable. Is all. And,
yeah, definitely don't. Yeah, don't believe the hype. But Scott, that is a dope, if I might say, Public Enemy song.
Don't believe the hype. Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of being dope,
don't believe the hype. It's a sequel.
What kind
As
of
an equal can I get this through to you?
That was fresh. And what kind of fresh stuff you got going on?
Well, this isn't as fresh as what I'm working on now, but it's still good. I still suggest you pick it up. Young and the Dead, Kids versus Zombie Adventure Story. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. I also have 2 YouTube. This is at circworks.com. I also have 2 YouTube channels: Circworks Art Labs, which is art advice and inspiration for indie comic book artists, and Retro Art Lab, which is reinventing retro favorites from the past. I wanted to say, the chat saying, great show, had fun time, and for that, I'd like to say thanks for keeping us on our 6 toes. So
yes,
yeah. But this show, we do this show every.
Wait, that was a callback, Scott. You learned that.
Well, it was a callback. Yeah, it wasn't. It was only called back from like 10 minutes ago, but. But yeah, I'm learning.
You're learning. You're learning. You got to practice.
Who said AI can't teach you to be funny?
Yeah, and listen, you got 2 friends here who are willing to workshop this comedy career that you got.
Yeah.
Like Josh is going to be a god.
Yeah.
You're going to be a comedian, and I'm just going to facilitate this stuff for you guys by just being like hey, check the advice box here. Anyway.
Yeah. So other than that, this show we do every single week typically, and it rotates back and forth, or not back and forth, but around between the 3 of us. So this week it's on Kevin's channel. Next week, I believe it's on my channel. And then Josh, and that can get a little confusing. So what we want you to do, or what we think would help you do, is just join our mailing list. We don't spam you or anything like that. All we do is, about 30 minutes or so before we go live, we'll send out a notification, let you know who the guest is, what time we're going to go live, whose channel it's going to be on, and all that stuff, because YouTube doesn't always let you know about that. So check that out in the link in the description. Again, thanks to everyone in the chat. This has been a blast. So, yeah. Yeah,
thanks to everybody in the chat. I saw Dylan, I quickly typed in your question to AI about the muse, and all it did was give me a brief because I closed our thread, so it just told me about the Greek mythology muse. So sorry I didn't get to your question or see it in time, but anyway, thank you for being here in the chat. Thanks everybody for being in the chat. Next week on Scott's channel, I think we're probably going to be workshopping some comedy, so make sure to be there. All right, everybody, adios. I don't know why I said that.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
We're still on air, it says, or maybe that.